Okay. Continuing our discussion on dealing with user input and output. Okay. So here we use input or okay for to use input we use the CIN. Okay. And to read input from the user we use the CIN object along with our extraction operator. Another operator has been introduced, which is called extraction operator. Now let's try to make use of this one. So here, um, let me just remove this one. So I'll just put in number. Okay. Now, or I'll just declare a number, which is an integer in which has a data type of integer or int. Okay. Now see out, then enter an integer. Okay. So I want a prompt that will ask a user to enter an integer. Then I have here the CIN or the CIN object under your IO stream. So then you have your extraction operator. And I will be storing the input to the variable that I have created, okay, which is number. Okay. Then see out. Okay. I would like to prompt the user that he entered. Okay, sorry. He entered the number. Okay. For in the number, then I will be calling the variable that I have created. Then in blank. Okay. Yeah, we have returned 0. Then let's run. So here, we need to enter an integer. So for 5, for example, then enter. Okay, you have entered or you entered 5. Okay, so 5 here will now be contained in your variable number. Okay, so what we did again is we created a line to prompt the user to enter an integer through your cout. Okay. Then with this cn and your extraction operator, we stored the or we push the input of your user to the variable number. So currently, if I have input a number here, which is in this case we have 5. So the current value of your number is 5. So we have uh, printed, okay, we printed again a prompt that will advise our user that the entered number is whatever the number is stored in this variable. Okay. Now, in again, if how it works, prompt the user okay, through their cout object, which is used to display a message to the user. Then you have your cin, which is a statement that waits for the user to enter a value. Then we display the input. Okay, so now we can also perform multiple uh, multiple inputs. Okay, so For example, we have the number one or first number, then you have number two, right? Then we would like to ask the user to input two or to enter two integers, okay, or two numbers for that matter. Enter two numbers, right? Then we have we will be storing the first number to number one, then the second number to number two variable. Okay. Then we will prompt the user on what he or she have inputted. So number one, let me just remove this one. Okay, number one. Then again, we'll display also such as an end maybe. And so I have put here an extra space and within your or within your opening and closing quotation mark because it will be the space will be a mandatory element which will be included in the display, right? Because later I'll be checking that one. Okay, so we'll also print number two. Okay, then and nine. Okay, so run. Enter two numbers, two space three. So you entered two and three. Okay. Now, in this case, you have or we have an extra or we have the spaces before the end and after the end word. Now, if you will be removing that one, for example, one, two, another number three, okay, spaces will not be uh, included because we have not included it in our display. So again, take note that whatever you would like to appear in your display should be properly placed in your cout and within your opening and close quotation marks. Okay, so now if you will to print, okay, if you will put opening and closing quotation to a variable name, that variable name becomes an ordinary text that is to be printed. Okay, and we are not printing the value of number one in this case, but we are printing the number one word in this scenario. So two, three, uh, we printed number one instead the value of number one that is stored in that variable, right? So please be mindful also of putting your quotation marks. Again, space, space. Now, we can also uh, make use of, or we can also input string data, right? Now, in inputting string data, we need to call or we need to have another preprocessor, which is an include string, which is we are including the string library. Okay, so let me just remove this one. Okay, so again, we have whenever we use the string, okay, the string data type, we need to import our or the library for string. So string, then the name of our variable, string name, okay. So again, what we would like to do is to ask the user to input his or her name. So cout, enter your first name. Okay. Then our semicolon, which indicates that we are terminating this line already. Okay, do not forget this one. Because if we will to leave this without semicolon, what will happen is it will cause you an error. Okay, so for each line that you will be creating, okay, if it's terminable, we should terminate that line. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now next we have our cin. Okay, then our variable name, then cout. You'll just greet the user, hello, then the name, variable, then maybe we'll just print an extra exclamation, right? Then and like now, check this out. If for example, okay, putting spaces between your operators and your cout or your keywords or your in displays, okay, putting spaces therein and uh, as well as not putting space will not matter. Okay? Why? What is the reason why we need to put space? Simply because of for readability purposes of our source code. Okay? So for a more readable source code and uh, for it to look uh, more professional, if that's the case, then we'll just put simple spaces. Okay, so here again we entered a name, okay, and store it in your name variable. Then we just print it, okay, in this line. Okay, next. Now, what's the case here? If, for example, Jose Rizal, okay, our variable is just storing Jose, or we are just printing Jose in this case, right? Okay. So now, what happened to Rizal? Okay. It is not being included in our input. Okay. So um, to address this one, we will be introducing the getline function or the getline method. Okay. To read the full line of text, okay, in our inputs. So let's try. So enter your first name, then here rather than simply using the cin, we'll use the getline. Okay? Getline with the two parameter, the cin and the name of our variable. Okay? Then we'll just run. So for example, this is Jose. So yeah, we have already read the input or the all text in that line. So for example, we'll put another one, Jose Andres Bonifacio Rizal. So all of the text in that line will be read or will be part of our or will be stored properly in your name as it was read, okay, fully, okay, in this line. Now, just to recap, the getLine function, it reads an entire line of text from the input stream, okay, which includes spaces until a new line character is encountered. So we have here the syntax, the getLine, okay. So for simplicity, we have just use this one. You have your getLine, then the cin, and you have your variable name, okay. Now, next, we can we can also make use of custom delimiter. Okay, so what's this one? So in your get line, okay, we add character, for example, comma. Okay, so what happened is that wait, sorry, I made a wrong quotation. Okay, so what happened is that say Andres, then comma, Rizal. Okay, what happened is that uh, whenever our uh, whenever we encountered this comma in our line, okay, it will delimit or cut for a more simple term. We cut the inputs, okay, after the uh, comma character, okay. So, yan. Tuloy niya lahat. Di niya i-print na yung mga kasama dyan or hindi niya na babasahin. Okay, it will not read all the text after that comma. Okay, so for example, let's run again. Okay. Jose Rizal Andres Bonifacio Bonifacio Antonio. Right? So there you have it. Now, if you can also try another character. So Jose dot Rizal. Okay, so there you have it. Okay. Now, let me just remove this Now, let's try to combine the two, or wait, let me just continue this one. So here, uh, we created two line of uh, or multiple uh, lines to get names. So I have just copied this get enter your first name and created a variable name one and variable name two. Okay, so enter your first name. Then again, I'll just copy this one for a faster demonstration. So enter your first name, maybe this is second name. So let's just run. So Jose, then Andres. So you have here your Jose and Andres. Okay. I have not printed or I have not provided another line. If the case, for example, let me just remove this one and remove this one. Run. So Jose, Andres. Okay. So that one. Now, what if along the way we have to get the age? So in age. Okay. So see out. Okay. I am actually uh, pausing for a while because the recording will just have me 30 minutes. So just to save some few seconds, so I'll be again pausing the recording while typing. Okay, I'll be getting back. So here, uh, what we did is to create another variable which is an age and variable address that will store the address and the age respectively. Now, again, we have created here enter your age, a prompt that will ask the user to input an age or his age, then the age, okay? Then another prompt that will ask the user to input the address, okay, or his or her address. Then getline uh, that will trigger the prompt, okay, and store it to uh, address variable. Okay, so let us run this one. So Jose 45. Okay. Now, why uh why do we have a or why is your address not able to prompt us, or why do we not able to input an address to uh to address this line or to make use of this line? Okay. Now, what is the problem that we have encountered maybe? Okay? So, bakit kasi hindi tayo na-trigger? Bakit hindi tayo nakapag-input ng address? Okay? Ayun. Agad-agad nag-print siya ng hello Jude Jose. Your address is 45 and your age is 45 and your address is so wala blanco. Okay? So we have not made use of this line. So what or how do we solve? Okay, or what was the problem? Okay, the problem here is that it doesn't clear the input buffer in this line. Okay, so now to change the result, okay, we will be introducing a certain line that will make uh, use, okay, that will clear the input buffer, that is CIN ignore. Okay, so run. So Jose 45 Pampanga. Okay, so there you have it. It clears the buffer, okay, and or the input buffer by using the CIN ignore. Okay, so yeah. Now, you may want to try this on your uh, computers, okay, or on your cell phones or tablet. Okay, so the last uh, recording for this meeting will be on the selection of data types. That will be the next. Okay, I'll just be cutting this one. Thank you.